A new live-action adaptation of a beloved animated film is coming to theaters. DreamWorks is bringing new life to their How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Jared Butler has been part of both the animated and live-action version and sat down with their friends from the Backstage experience. Let's welcome in Dave Morales and John Stenval to learn more about this new film. It's Friday, which means it's movie time, and we are finally joined with both of our fan favorites. Everybody loves you guys, the Backstage experience. We're talking How to Train Your Dragon comes in theaters today.
Old Jerry Butler is returning.
He's acting. John is all excited because Gerard Butler, that's what we call him.
We got upgraded.
We heard when we interviewed him, which you're about to see, that people call him Jerry when they're like good friends. And we have spent a lot of time with him. So we asked him, we walked in the room, like, can we start calling you Jerry? He's like, oh, call me Jerry. That was a horrible Scottish accent. So Jerry, Jerry Butler. Now he's part of the How to Train Your Dragon. He did the voice acting.
He did Stoic the Vat. So
yes.
He played Hiccup's dad in all 3 animated movies, and he's returning for the live action adaptation.
Yes, and it's really good. He really liked this movie. So we had to ask the important questions like, Gerard, if you had a real dragon, what would you name the dragon? And how heavy was that costume? Because he's total Viking in this movie. You ready? Gerard Butler, or as we call him,
Jerry.
How to Train Your Dragon.
First for me, we talked the animated versions and now we're talking live action. As far as, because you were involved with those as well, but is a mindset when you're in person, like the voice acting, the real acting, and this is real now?
Night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. Voice acting, I love.
Yeah.
I'm in a studio, had a lot of fun working with Dean, but this is a complete transformation. I'm stepping into another world. The costumes were incredible. Took hours to get on that and the makeup. So by the time it felt like a full metamorphosis by the time I stepped on. I felt like stoic, and I stepped into this world of Burke, and I think you see that in the movie. I think the movie feels more present, more immediate, more visceral, because you're really experiencing that, not just the voice in a drawing. Right. And even though I loved the animation, but it was drawings, now you're looking into the eyes of these characters, and I think that their struggles are much more, there's much more color and nuance in them. So you definitely, as the movie going, get more and more sucked into this world.
Is speaking of the costume, is it heavy? It looks heavy.
That costume was, that was a struggle. That was about, with the axe and shield, 90 pounds. It was about 75 without that, because, and the helmet, and I had to wear that all day long. And that's what I talk about, that metamorphosis, because when you are wearing that most of the day, you start to, and you're living the life of stoic more than you're living the life of Jerry Butler, because then you just go home and go to bed. You like sit in the house going, how am I going to do this tomorrow? No joke. How am I going to do this tomorrow?
But it looks great, man.
It looked amazing, and it felt amazing.
Yeah.
So when I stepped in there, because no other Vikings were like, the costumes were great, but I was twice the size of everybody else. My shoulders were out here. My helmet was out here. And so when I stepped on there, I felt like a leader. I felt like a chieftain. But then I could go in the other direction and play with, the more emotional journey. I had the big stuff covered.
Yeah.
But the journey an audience are going to go on with me and with Hiccup is the internal journey. And I find this movie is, I think everybody does, it's so emotional.
It's very emotional. It's magical.
Yeah.
We're going to end with this. If you had a dragon, because they're real, of course, let's pretend, what would you name your dragon? You can't say Toothless.
Okay, Lockie. Lockie, because now, and it's only the Loch Ness Monster, right? I'm from Scotland.
No,
we
I
have
know.
the Loch Ness Monster. I mean, he lives more underwater, but we could give him wings, because I like going underwater, but I would also like to fly around the clouds. But his nickname is Lockie, and I think that'd be, I like that idea, because I could keep my Scottish brogue, All right, Lockie. All right, Lockie. Stop sniffing that dragon. Let's go.
Thank you.
I am so fired.
No, you're not. And I'll say thank you, Jerry. See, I just used it since I got promoted. Bro, I love you, dude.
Good to see you.
So this is not the first How to Train Your Dragon that came out. A lot of us fell in love with the animated series, either watching it ourselves or watching it with our family as a family night movie. How would you say it sticks to the blueprint?
I think it follows the blueprint perfectly, and the reason is the director who directed all 3 animated films and actually wrote the script is doing this one, and they got some of the original cast back as well. And so it's not like you have a new director and a whole new vision. This guy has been part of the entire franchise from day one.
Yeah, and this is really, it follows the 2010 animated version, and really it is frame by frame of the story. What I really like about live action in this sense is that it brings the characters, it brings the story alive.
There's some additional stuff too. I wouldn't say frame by frame, but it's pretty close.
It's very close, and the music is spectacular.
Music's fantastic. Also, a second movie, How to Train Your Dragon 2, the live action adaptation, is already actually planned, in the works, and is happening.
And we will have that interview for you right here, like we always do.
That's coming out in June of 27.
Well, wait a couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay. Toothless has a place in my heart, so I'm excited to see this movie. I will speak to you guys next week. Have a beautiful weekend.
You got to see it. How to Train Your Dragon, or Travel by Universal Pictures. Got to say that. Thank you so much.